Hello and welcome to part 64. In this video, we will learn how we can overload our indexers. If you remember in the last video, we have created an indexer on our class customer data manager, and in our indexer we were passing the customer ID as 104 and we are fetching the name of that customer using that. But let's say we have two more fields in our customer class. So now what we want to do, instead of passing the customer ID, I want to give the functionality to pass the customer gender and the customer age, like this. Based on this, we want to find the customer. Now if you see, we are getting the compilation error because there is no overload for this indexer that can take two arguments. So let's go ahead and create one more indexer that can accept two parameters. So basically we will overload the indexer. We already have one indexer that is accepting customer ID as an input parameter, but let's create one more indexer. And this time I want to pass the gender that is of string type. Okay. And I want to pass the age also, that is of integer type. Once that is done, let's create our getters and setters. So what we want to do, we want to return the name of the customer from our customers list. We need to say first or default. And within this, we need to check two conditions now, such that customer gender is equal to whatever gender we are getting, and we need to also check if the age of the customer is equal to the age that we are getting in this indexer. Let's change it to the lowercase. Once that is done, we need to find the name of the customer using dot name. Once that is done, we need to just simply return it from here. And in setter, what we need to do, we need to find that customer and set the name of that customer to whatever name we are getting. So we need to set the name of the customer, whatever is passed when calling this indexer. So now test this code. Let me first remove this line of code. When we are setting the customer, let's set some gender and age for these customers also. So I have added some gender and age to our customers. Now let's use the indexer. So I will say string name because I want the customer name from my indexer. So I will use CDM. I will use the object of customer data manager class, and I will use my square brackets. And now I can pass the gender. Let's pass male, and for the second parameter, you can pass the age. Okay, right? So I am passing 20 as the age and male is our gender. So basically this will match with this particular customer, and we should return Peter as the result. So let's print this result and run the program. As expected, you can see Peter is getting printed. It means our indexer is working as expected. So now let's test the setter also. So for this particular customer, let's change the name. And now again get this customer name using the indexer, just like we did before. So what we are doing, first we are getting the customer name, passing the male and 20 as the age, and printing that customer name. And after that, we are using our setter and changing the name of that customer to Henry. After that, we are again getting that customer names using the indexer and printing that new name again using the console.writeLine. Let's run the program. Now you can see first the customer name was Peter, but after calling the setter, the name of the customer is changed to Henry. So guys, this is how you can overload your indexers. Currently we have two overloads for this, one that will accept the customer ID as the input parameter, and second one is accepting gender and the age. And one more thing I want to show here is when you will use the indexer and put the curly brackets here, you can see the Visual Studio will show how many overloads are available. You can see one of two. First one is taking integer, that is nothing but the customer ID. And if you click on this down arrow button, you can see the second indexer that is taking the gender and the age. And that's it for this video, guys. In the next video, we will learn how we can make the parameters of a method as an optional parameter.